Johnny Dangerous. You're watching Tidy TV exclusively on YouTube. I managed to catch up with Ben Stevens, the new label manager of Tidy Trax. Here's an insight into what goes on. So, Ben, thanks for taking time out of your hectic schedule to talk to me.
No problem.
Now, you own Toolbox, the online store.
Yeah, Toolbox Digital, that's right.
Toolbox Digital, yeah. You also own Vicious Recordings.
So I run Vicious Circle Recordings, as I kind of started running that myself when Paul Glasby decided that he didn't want to do anything like that anymore, really. So he kind of he transferred over to being a personal trainer and now lives in Australia. So I carried it on so that it actually carried on rather than just stopping. Yeah.
And now you are label manager of Tidy Trax. So how do you fit all this in, and can you fit anything else in?
It's a bit of a juggling act to kind of time manage everything each day. But I can fit other things in. I do write music myself. I was doing studio sessions with other people, but I've wound that down a little bit now, so that I've just got time to write music for me as well, and other music projects for Pure Energy as well, that I do, and then hopefully back to DJing when we can go back to clubs again. Yeah.
So how did becoming a label manager come about then?
So it started about 2 years ago. I was approached by Sam at Ammo because they wanted to relicense some of the old Tidy back catalogue and get it back on the download stores and the streaming sites again, and get some of the compilations up, like the Tidy Boys Annual and these big compilations that are iconic and part of hard house history that wasn't available on any of the streaming sites. So we had a conversation and worked out that we could try and relicense this music. So I came on board to help with that, help with doing some of the royalty accounting, and it's kind of progressed from there into now doing the kind of the full label management job, because Sam is now working on Pure Energy, so the kind of sister company that does fitness music, and Sam is doing all the events. So with the Weekender happening now, and then lots of other events planned, his time's pretty scarce.
So what does the actual role of label manager entail?
So it's the kind of beginning to end of signing a record to then distributing it, getting it to all the stores, and then the promotion side of it. And that may well be just a digital release. It may be a physical product, so we might be releasing a vinyl or something, or a compilation where we need to license third-party music, so music from other record labels, that I need to do that and get it all in on time so that the products are here each month. So there's new music out for everybody each month, really.
So do you have much of an input into the A&R side of things, or is that separate? And what kind of things do you look for a release on one of the Tidy labels? What kind of qualities?
So the A&R is done primarily by Ammo, Sam and Lee. I'm involved in it as well, but in the way that we'll be listening to stuff, and obviously my opinion is shared with it, but I don't have the final say on what gets released through the label. I do the kind of administration management side of it to actually get it released with the contracts and things like that. But music wise, we're just looking for the best quality music that there can be in the genres that we release, in hard house, trance, hard trance, and then the more untidy stuff, which is the kind of borderline between hard house and house, and just something that stands out from kind of the run-of-the-mill music. That's what we're really looking for most of the time.
Okay, streaming has become more popular now across the music industry in general, but more so in dance music. Why do you think it's important now for artists to stream the music and not just have it as a download or as a CD or?
The thing with downloads is that downloads have been great for DJs, but your general music consumer, if I want to listen to, say, a piece of trance or a house music track, I'm not interested in the DJ edit of it that's got a minute or 2 minutes of drums in the beginning and the end of it. I just want to listen to the best bit of it. So the streaming sites cater for that with edits, and then we can listen to... The great thing is lots of different people and other record labels are curating playlists of the music that they like and they want to push. And it's just a fantastic way to find new music. So the fact that all the algorithms within Spotify and Apple Music and Amazon will suggest stuff to you every week of new music from artists that you like and people that you've never heard of. It's the only way I can really describe it is, in the past I'd go to a record shop, and I used to go to the same one in Loughborough when I was younger, and every Friday the guy that worked there would just give me a pile of records. So he was curating for me that playlist, and now it just happens to be a computer that does it for you instead. And they're just fantastic ways to find new music, really, I think.
It wasn't Three-Legged Pineapple, was it?
No, it's called Fat Grooves.
Oh, was it?
Was the record shop.
I used to go to one called Three-Legged Pineapple in Loughborough. So how do you decide which platforms get the exclusivity on the tracks? Because obviously you've got Beatport, you've got Toolbox Digital, how do you decide what goes where when it's released?
For the download stores, we just look at which sites are promoting and featuring those particular genres. So Toolbox Digital is centered around hard house. We sell hard trance, the hard dance stuff, hardcore as well. So if we've got a kind of purely hard house release, then we'll push more of the traffic to there because it's got the fan base and it's got the customer base. Whereas Beatport have the customer base for trance and for house, so the untidy stuff works well on there. So we just do that based purely around the genres and the relationships we've got with the stores. The streaming sites, they go on everywhere at the same time, just so that we're not penalising somebody that may use Apple Music over Spotify.
Yeah.
It's just so that everybody can listen to it at the same time. And even if we do an exclusive release, so you can only buy it from Beatport, you can still listen to it on all the other streaming sites on the same day. So
if we think back to many years ago, long before dance music as we know it, you had your records, you had cassettes, you even had something called 8-track, which you probably don't even know what that is, but it's a form of tape. Then the CD came out. Now we've got downloads, and that's what people predominantly buy the music on, because there's very rarely will you get a physical product unless it's a limited edition. Do you think it will come to a point where downloads don't exist because of streaming?
For your general music consumer, they don't exist now anyway. I don't buy anything on iTunes, but I listen to all sorts of different music on the streaming sites. I'm not interested in owning it and having it on my computer, because I can just stream it from these sites instead, and I know that the artists are getting paid every time I listen to it. DJs at the moment are not quite there, and I think it's quite a while off before everybody gets to that point. The kind of early technology adopters, like your Carl Cox and people like that, are probably going to be there quite quickly, because they'll be the people that are pushing the software with Pioneer and Denon. But at the moment, I don't see them dying off completely for DJs, no. But the technology is there for people to be able to stream it. So perhaps like a mobile DJ that's doing a wedding, it's amazing, because if you've got a good internet connection, you've got access to absolutely everything.
Yeah.
Someone gives you a request, yeah, we're sorted. The more specialist stuff, perhaps not quite yet, but I'm sure it will go that way in future, yes.
Okay, so regarding the tidy labels then, what do you have, bubbling under? What can we expect in the future? What do we need to look out for?
One of the biggest things that we've done recently is signed all the Tony DeVee back catalogue.
Wow.
So that is in the process of being remastered at the moment, and then there's some big projects coming up with that. I've
actually had a sneak preview of a new remix of Are You already, which I'm not going to say who's done that, because I don't want to put any spoilers on it, but so is that part of the project?
That's actually part of the UX project that we're doing, which is taking some of the big tracks of the kind of tidy back catalogue and getting them remixed in different genres. So they've been great, because it's not been a case of us going, right, well, we'll take Are You Already and approach somebody and go, please do a remix of this. We approached various different DJs and producers that write techno, tech house music, and asked them which tracks they wanted to remix, because all these people were into hard house as well, even though they may not show it now.
Yeah.
They were in the past, and they've all jumped at the chance to do these remixes that are kind of trying to open up the music and these anthems for us to a new generation of people that might not have heard them before. And some of it's had radio play on Radio 1 again, so it's good. And yeah, trying to get more people to perhaps hear the music that they might not ordinarily listen to.
Tony DeVee's one of the projects, so what else?
Yes, so we've also got the Hard House Bible that we've done with BK. So Ben's done a mix of old classic tracks and then an upfront mix of what he thinks is the kind of hard house sound going forward at the moment.
I love the second CD.
It's fantastic.
Mix. Yeah, it's brilliant.
It's great. It's a good kind of it's a journey of what you would expect to hear in a hard house club night, right from the beginning to the end, but in a hour and 20 minutes on a CD. So it starts off nice and groovy, builds up through the kind of almost like club heads kind of stuff that Ben's new track Reach is a bit like, up until the kind of bangers that you're going to hear right at the end. So there will be another one of those coming in the next few months. We're also doing a series called 100% Tidy, which is back catalogue tracks and new stuff, and perhaps some of the B-sides that people might not know, put into a mix and released. We do one of those every 2 months. Some more Hard House producer series, and there is a Tidy Girls annual from Lisa Pinup and Savage coming at the Weekender.
I've heard there's an Insomnia as well. Is that true? Can you confirm?
I don't know. I've not been told that yet. So
maybe. Oh no, not Insomnia. Sorry, Resonate.
There's definitely a Resonate.
Yeah,
there's definitely a Resonate, and I think
you might as well slot an Insomnia now.
We'll probably get one of those in there. Yeah. The Resonate, I think, is probably going to be the last one of those. So it'll definitely be one to get if you've got the whole collection of them.
Which you can buy on USB and just squeeze it on there, can't you?
Yeah.
Just squeeze on that USB stick.
Yeah, just about, I think.
So you've been in the dance industry for 20 odd years now. Where do you think it will be in another 20 years?
I mean, it's always constantly evolving, but we've kind of gone from it being a completely, although Hard House was big, it was still underground music really. It never kind of got to the point of being on the radio. But now with the kind of whole EDM sound from America, dance music is the pop music over there. So it's gone from being underground music to being absolutely, it was huge all over the world. And then America have really grabbed hold of it now. So it is their pop music now. So I would see it just getting bigger, really. How our kind of music evolves is difficult to say. I think obviously here at Tidy we're pushing a bit of a slower sound with everything to try and make it more accessible to people, but there's still the great thing about a hard house night to me is that I can go and listen to something that's 130 BPM all the way up to something that's 155 BPM at the end of the night, depending on where you go to. And you don't really get that kind of range of tempo and styles in any other club nights really. So for me that's what I like about it, and hopefully that doesn't evolve to being different because we get a good range of everything. But dance music will be here in 20 years, absolutely. Okay,
so finally then, let's talk Tidy Weekender 25. We will see the return of the infamous Vicious Circle after party. What can we expect? Give us a bit of an insight of what to expect then.
So we'll expect the BPMs to be a bit higher than they are in the main room. It starts at 4 a.m. and goes on till 9 or 10 in the morning, I think.
Wow.
So it's the kind of the graveyard shift. There's some people I know that are coming on just on the Saturday night just for that as well. So
brilliant.
And then it'll be the sounds of Vicious Circle. Yeah. So it's the kind of the harder end of the music that perhaps you'd hear. If you were going to a Tidy night, you probably hear it right at the end of the night. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be it'll be a good party, definitely. I think everybody's ready for a party now.
Definitely, most definitely. Ben Stevens, thank you very much.
No problem.
It's been interesting talking to you today, and thanks for taking time out of your schedule.
No problems at all. Thank you very much.